Oh, baby. All right, let's get this thing started. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the DNVR show.
Let's go!
Right here from the Reinhardt Center at UC San Diego.
Yes, sir.
The Nuggets, believe it or not, have already cleared out. Look behind us. We got the stadium, the stadium behind us.
Not much going on.
Nobody here. They're probably halfway to Denver already. Us, poor schlubs, we're stuck here for another couple hours.
We're flying scheduled, as some call it.
We are flying scheduled. But we did see a scrimmage today. We're going to talk about that. What did we learn from the scrimmage? What did we learn from camp in general? I do feel like there's some takeaways. I do feel differently right now than I did a week ago, so we'll talk about some of the reasons why that is, and maybe you agree or disagree. And then we have some mailbag questions to get that you guys sent in, some great mailbag questions to help me through all of that. I got my right-hand man, Harrison Wind.
Man, what a week it's been. Great week down here in San Diego. We've been in this gym for 4 days straight now.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time here. It's been good, though. It's been good.
It's been great, to be honest with you. I mean, for me personally, first of all, I'll say, if you didn't see, late last night, we uploaded interviews with Reggie Jackson and Julian Strother. And I got to say, they were fantastic interviews.
They were.
So if you didn't see that, don't miss it. Go back and check those out. It's 30-minute interviews with each of them. They're two very different interviews. Julian Strother, kind of a getting to know him. I feel like I like him. He has a great personality.
Yeah, I like him too.
He's funny. He's fun. He's lighthearted. He's interesting. And then Reggie Jackson, completely different veteran, more serious. But man, did he have some really reflective, he's a more thoughtful guy than I realized. And he had some very reflective insights on the team, the championship run last year. He talked about, was he nervous? He had very good comments about him and the vets kind of talking about down the stretch.
Right.
Are these guys...
Can they flip the switch?
Can they flip the switch? And so you can't... I'm telling you right now, you cannot miss those interviews. They were that good.
Yeah. And I would say if you can, go to YouTube and watch them as well instead of just listening to them because, we went to the team hotel, set up there a little bit, but it was great having those guys on the show in person. And Julian was great. I thought that interview was great. I feel like we saw a side of him. We don't really know him that much, but we learned a lot about him. And then Reggie Jackson, I feel like, gave some of the more in-depth, critical thought pieces of just knowledge about Nikola Jokic that I've ever heard from a Nuggets player.
Really?
It was angles of, what makes Nikola Jokic who he is that I've never really thought of in terms of what goes into how poised he always is, what goes into just how he never looks nervous on a big stage. I thought Reggie Jackson, man, had some incredible insight and just brought up stuff that I've never heard anyone bring up when just describing what makes Nikola Jokic great.
All of that. And also, leave a comment, hit shout out on social media if that's where you're at. Wherever you're at and you access it, give a shout out because those guys want to see, it's a big deal for them to do media like that, and so they want to see that people appreciate it, that people enjoyed it. So go and check those out, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more down the road.
I do wonder if Julian Strother called Nikola Jokic Big Honey to his face. I warned him not to.
I hope not.
I really hope he didn't.
I hope not. Speaking of nicknames, the fireman.
The fireman.
The fireman was all over everybody's mind today. So the Nuggets get a scrimmage every year at training camp. It's like practice. You don't really get to see a lot. You're let in the last little bit. They're doing stretching. They're doing shooting. You're not really getting anything in. The last day, they allow you to come in and to watch 10 minutes of a scrimmage. Now, in those 10 minutes, we'll talk about it. There's not any super loud takeaways from the 10 minutes we saw, but from talking to different people, the fireman, a.k.a. Justin Holiday, apparently had himself a day.
He had himself a day, and dare I say, he might be the MVP of training camp.
No, are we calling it?
I'm not calling it yet.
Okay.
But
it is over. Training camp
I don't
is
think
over.
we've had enough discussion
reflect.
between us about the potential training camp MVP to come to consensus. But
Make a case.
He's got to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the conversation.
He's clearly in the conversation.
Today, reportedly, he looked great in the scrimmage. Yeah. He was knocking down shots.
That's it. Lights out from shooting lights out.
Yeah. Hit a bunch of threes. Was running some with the first unit.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr.'s had a sprained ankle. He hasn't scrimmaged these last couple of days. By the way, we saw Porter walking around. He looks fine. I would not be concerned about that at all.
He looks like he's going to be out for a week. Like he doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they really slow played it, but it didn't.
Yeah.
He's not in a boot. He's walking around. He's taking jumpers.
Like I don't think he's playing on Tuesday, but
Right.
I think he's fine. So Justin Holiday was running with the ones a little, reportedly fit in great with that group. And, that's the thing everybody said about Justin Holiday the whole time we've been here this week is that, he does a lot of different things, but most of all, he can just fit in with any type of lineup. And then Michael Malone, after practice today, maybe I thought the most significant quote about Justin Holiday, Michael Malone said he could be a Jeff Green replacement.
Yeah.
That I thought was notable.
And he even talked about this playing the 4, possibly playing the 4, because you think Jeff Green was a 4, sometimes a 5, but played big. And when we're looking at positions, you're talking about, okay, Reggie Jackson likely to be there somewhere. Maybe there's a Murray Stagger. Maybe Christian Brown either plays the 2 or the 3. Now you're starting to fill up Peyton Watson. So the fact that he's viewed as a 4, I thought he's so skinny. He's really tall. He's probably, based on my height analysis.
Here we go.
I think he was about 6'8". What's he listed at?
He's 6'6".
He's listed at 6'6"?
I think so.
I think he's taller than that. Same with Peyton Watson. They both look tall. How tall do they list him? I'm so curious here.
They list
my
him
reputation is
at,
on the line here.
See. Oh, that's our interview.
Maybe
with
nobody
him.
has ever measured Justin Holiday. It's possible.
Justin Holiday, 6'6".
6'6".
Knew it.
Man, in shoes.
Don't test me on these things.
He's so skinny though. My broader point was he's really, really skinny. And so for the fact that they say he could play, some of the 4, man, he's taller than that. He's got to be taller than 6'6".
He's not. He's 6'6".
He's got to be taller than 6'6".
He's not.
How tall is Peyton Watson?
6'8".
They're like more or less the same height.
How do you know that? Have you seen them? Have you told them to go back to back?
I've looked them eye to eye.
Oh
I personally looked at them eye to eye.
Peyton Watson is 6'8".
He looks
Justin
6'8".
Holiday 6'6".
He also looks 6'8". They both look 6'8". I'm going to go ahead and say I think he is the MVP of summer camp though, or of training camp.
Is there anybody else in the conversation?
Especially when you talk relative to expectation, I think it's no question that he would be that guy. The starters, look, there was an expectation of all of them, and they've been better. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. But when you go to the bench unit, Reggie Jackson has a case just because of how much his name has popped up. Christian Brown had a lot of hype coming into camp, so I almost feel like it wouldn't surprise. Justin Holiday was a guy that I just think we were all thought, what is he? What's he going to be? And now I'm looking at him going, he's playing reps with the starters. Yeah. He seems to fit in. Everybody's raving about him. He's shooting the ball well. He's playing with confidence. Personality-wise, he's fitting in. So to me, I actually think it's this is the MVP conversation, like Yoke MVP conversation, where we're entering other people in just to make a conversation of it.
Yeah, I think a couple days ago I was saying how I had some concern that, maybe Justin Holiday was the Davon Reed of this season, right, where he could be blocking Peyton Watson's full-time arrival into the rotation. I don't know how the second unit's going to work out in terms of P-Watt and his minutes, and we'll talk about him too, but I definitely feel like Justin Holiday, I think he's going to play more now, than I thought he was going to play before this week.
Right.
I feel like he's earned some more minutes this week with what he's done.
And we know that Calvin likes wings. And you have a bunch of wings now. And first of all, I didn't think Denver had a lot of wings. I thought they had Christian Brown and Peyton Watson. And then it's like, all right, what other choices do you even have? But the fact that Justin Holiday's name has come up as much as it has, that he seemingly has looked as good as he has, it does make you think, okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. 3 wings, you can play 3 wings. There is room for 3 wings. So depending on what your rotation is it a 9-man or a 10-man rotation? If it's a 10-man, then maybe all 3 guys play. So I just think there's that. I will say that today in the scrimmage, I was also told that Reggie Jackson went like 4 for 5 from 3, so he also shot the ball well. I think that Holiday though was like 8 or 9 threes or something like that. That's why he stood out. What about the portion that we saw? So first of all, unlike last year, if you remember last year, do you remember the scrimmage that we saw? The part we saw?
Bones Highland dominated
it. He was making all these threes, and it was pretty funny. This time, starters didn't play at all. And when we walked in the gym, Jamal Murray has his shoes off. He's doing stretches. Jokic has his shoes off. Who else?
KCP looked like he picked up a little injury.
You think?
Looked like it.
Really?
Michael Malone said Jamal Murray is also battling some hamstring type thing, but he's fine, I think. He still played in the scrimmage a little bit.
All right. Well, he was stretching, and they were all off. Aaron Gordon's shoes off. So it was one of those things where the starters did seem to have taken some of they'd taken the reps off for the portion that the media was going to see today. But the guys that we did watch,
It was end of bench guys that we saw.
and it was mixed. Like I don't think you can read into what team it was. It was just blended lineups.
I have the 5.
Let's hear it.
On 5. So the winning team was with Jalen Pickett at point guard. That team also had Julian Strother, Hunter Tyson, Braxton Key, DeAndre Jordan. And then the other team, Colin Gillespie, Peyton Watson, I think Justin Holiday was on that team too, Zeke Najee, and then Andrew Funk, the training camp invite.
There you go.
So end of bench guys, Zeke, Justin, end of bench two-way guys. That's who really was in this scrimmage.
So what stood out to you?
I thought Julian Strother looked really good.
Yeah.
I thought he had a couple nice plays.
He got that DNVR show bump.
He did, man. He was feeling himself coming off that interview. You were talking about like when he became a shooter, and he probably realized like, man, I am a shooter. And then he comes out here today and hits like a 25-footer.
He did, and it was pure, man. I'm telling you, that thing was
Top
like,
of the key.
whee,
Yeah.
wet.
Hit a deep 3. And then he also had a nice floater.
Yeah.
Had a couple nice
I wouldn't even
plays
call
too.
it is a floater, but I will say the floater that he had, because floater, like I almost think teardrop. This one wasn't. It was almost like he jumped really high, first of all. The thing about Strother, he's really tall.
6'7".
6'7".
Can you confirm?
I can confirm he's 6'7".
Okay.
He looks like, you know how tall he looks? He looks like Justin Holiday.
Well,
That's
he's
how
an
tall
inch.
he
He's
looks.
an inch taller
he
than
looks the
Justin
same
Holiday.
height. But he had a good. It was like a drive to the basket, jump stop, jump hook. So it was a floater, but it was sort of like a jump hook floater. But nonetheless, it was just very controlled. Looked really good. And again, his size to me popped today. Watching him out there, you're like, oh yeah, just the way the Christian Brown, when he gets to play the 2, you're like, man, he looks enormous.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of Julian Strother today.
Yeah. I thought he looked good. It didn't look like the game was going too fast for him or anything
At all.
And it's funny because he's been, of the 3 rookies, we've definitely talked about him the least, but we've probably underrated him a little bit,
Yeah.
I'd say,
Yeah.
because he looked the part out
Yeah.
there from at least what we saw.
Yeah. So that's exciting to see. You know, Strother, guy maybe we've talked about, not maybe the least of anybody in the of the rotation guys or top 15 guys. So it's kind of cool to see him have a little bit of momentum. You know who my next guy is that I think stood out? This is going to blow your mind.
Who's that?
I liked what I saw from Braxton Key today.
I have it in my notes.
I liked what I saw from Braxton Key.
I have it in my scrimmage notes right here.
He had a pass today that I was like, look at that pass.
Yeah.
That was a nice little pass from Braxton Key. I mean, I don't know his game. Maybe he's a passer. I thought he was like a defensive player, slasher or whatever.
Yeah.
But to see him do some different things, a little more dynamic stuff. And same thing, like if you didn't know he was a two-way guy, you would have been like, oh, is he a rookie? He looks like an NBA guy.
Yeah. He had that pass. He had a great steal, like out at half court.
Oh, and
then dunk.
And it was a great, like, I kind of saw
who'd
it
he
coming
steal it
too.
from?
Colin
Was
made a
it
bad
Colin?
pass, and it was in the clutch. And he just kind of knew they were desperate. Colin's team was down 6, I think, so they knew they had to make a play. And Braxton's like, oh, he's going to try to go for this interception.
Yeah.
Pick 6.
Does not have a good 3-point shot.
Yeah.
Has a little hitch in it. I don't think he's a shooter anyway. He's big, though.
Yeah.
He's 6'8". 6'8"? What do you think about that?
I thought he looked a little taller.
Oh, he's 6'8", but he's thick. He's built. Like, you can tell he's been a professional for years.
How long has he been a professional?
I think 3 years, maybe.
What's his backstory? What do you know about him?
Well, he won a G League championship last year with Delaware.
This is good news. This is good stuff.
He's bounced around the G League.
No, I think
for
he
the
has
last couple of years.
I think he has multiple championships under his belt.
He does. Michael Malone said this the other day. He won in high school at Oak Hill Academy.
Right.
He won at Virginia national championship.
Right.
And then he won with Delaware Bluecoats in the G League last year. But he's been in the G League for 3 years now.
Yeah.
And he's big. Like, he's a big dude. He seems definitely more of a 4 than a 3 just because of the jump shot as well. But does he kind of remind you in a different way, but of a Torrey Craig, in that he's a guy that has a lot of talent. And the point I'm making on this is he's a guy that doesn't look hopeless, but it shows where Denver's at now in relation to where they were 5 years ago, where it's like, Torrey Craig, we need a guy like that, even though, yes, he's flawed and he has all these weaknesses. And now Denver is so deep with so much top-heavy talent, and then also so deep that a guy like Braxton Key feels like a luxury. Could he be called up in the event of an injury and fit in? I think he could be a guy that Nuggets fans would be pleasantly surprised with. Oh, this guy can run the system. He can be in there. Yeah.
But at the same time, for him to work his way up would be almost impossible because of how deep Denver is now.
yeah, I mean, defense, rebounding, can run the floor. He's a good athlete.
Yeah.
He's a great guy to have on a two-way contract.
Yeah.
He really is.
I'm glad you saw that he stood out, or that you felt he stood out, because that was one of the guys. Is there anybody else?
I think Peyton Watson had some real intriguing moments in the scrimmage. He hit a pull-up jumper, one dribble going to his left. That was pretty pure. He had a drive and finish going to his left, kind of at the rim. I don't think he didn't jump out off the court as the best guy on the floor, but I thought he had a couple nice, intriguing plays.
Hunter Tyson had a great lob to DeAndre Jordan, missed a couple open shots. I thought Jalen Pickett ran a couple really nice pick and rolls, had one pass in particular that was kind of mind-blowing how he kind of fit it into a tight space. But overall, a pretty hump. In fact, when we were watching the first 4 minutes of the scrimmage, nobody scored. It was 10 minutes we got to watch, and it was 0-0 halfway through, and you're like, it's going to be a little rough. But it was good to see the guys play, see them get up and down the court. On the other side, we talked to Nikola Jokic today, and he had a couple really interesting things to say that I think you're going to want to hear us talk about, and then we'll talk about our takeaways overall for this training camp.
Guys, make sure to check out Primo Hoagies, locations in both Denver and Centennial. You can order your party trays in advance online at primohoagies.com. We all went down there to Primo Hoagies. They rolled out the red carpet for us, treated us really well. We all got sandwiches. I thought it was really good stuff. It's a great sandwich. If you're just looking for lunch, dinner for the fam, make sure to check out Primo Hoagies. They have a huge menu. Huge. So you can pretty much try something else, try something new every single day. You're never going to run out of options there. Locations in both Denver and Centennial. Use code DNVR for $2 off a Primo-sized hoagie when ordering online. It's not just a hoagie, it's a Primo. Also, make sure to check out the Game Time app if you want tickets to sports shows, concerts, whatever you're looking for. Check out Game Time. They've got great last-minute price drops. They're obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up until the start of the event, or even sometimes even an hour after it starts. It's the best place to find last-minute seats. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
We might have a volleyball team coming in here behind us, so we're going to have to speed through these next two parts. Nikola Jokic today, I asked him, something I've been wanting to ask him since we got here. Actually, two questions. One was about his horses. Very open about his horses today, by the way, Harrison. You notice? More willing to talk about it than usual.
He should be, man. They had a great summer.
I don't need to tell you that. But also talked about studying Jelko Obradović's seminars. If you don't know, Jelko Obradović is the Phil Jackson of EuroLeague, the winningest coach in EuroLeague history. He's a Serbian guy, and he's back coaching Partizan. And over the summer, Obradović shared a story that Jokic told him that he had been watching his seminars and had been taking some notes and enjoyed them. And I asked him about that today, and he says, and I asked him, has he watched anybody else's seminars? Is that something he does? And he said, yes. Watch Kokoshkov. He's watched some other guys. He's watched them. And I asked him why, and he says, great players should be studying the game. I feel like I should be studying the game and learning things. And so I just pick up little things that from those different coaches, there's something you can learn to make yourself better. I feel like that's an incredible answer, Harrison. I feel like it's a very insightful answer for something we suspect about Jokic and something we feel like we know. But when you hear things like that, I feel like we know it. This guy studies his craft intensely, not just casually. He's seeking out seminars to watch the game and get better, not just one, but all the great coaches. I've just found it so interesting and really great to hear him talk about this.
Yeah. And, maybe it's the beginning of just the idea of who Nikola Jokic is shifting.
Right.
He's labeled as this guy who doesn't care about the NBA, doesn't care about basketball, just wants to finish the season and go home to his horses and his family, when really he's an absolute student of the game.
Right.
And he's obsessed with basketball, actually.
Right.
And he studies this stuff. And he's just, it's what his life is while he's here. And even, sometimes when he's not here. And, that's who he is. And I feel like we're learning that more and more, that this is actually a guy who is obsessed with learning new things about the game.
And to build off of that, one of my biggest takeaways from training camp, as we get into takeaways now, one of my biggest takeaways is Nikola, by all accounts, is back, excited to be back, and sort of focused and like on a mission once again. And I just didn't expect that. I thought he might be a little fatigued, a little bit annoyed, and all these different things. Not the case at all. This looks like a guy, and the team reflects it as a whole, but I want to stick with Nikola. He seems like a guy that is actually ready for the season, ready for the title defense, and a guy that's kind of like, yeah, that was just the start. We got more ahead, and I've got more ahead.
A lot of people asked us and have been asking us this week, what kind of mood is Nikola Jokic in?
Yeah.
Is he, he can't be happy to be back there.
Right.
Like he's just clocking in, clocking out.
Yeah.
That's not the impression that we've gotten at all.
At all.
He looks happy to be here.
Yeah.
He looks enthused. He looks a little rejuvenated, I would even say, after the summer. He's into it, man. Like, I sense an excitement for the season from him, and I didn't know what to expect, when it came to that, because definitely past years, him coming back to training camp, he has been a little grouchy.
Yeah.
But I have not gotten the sense at all that that's the case this year. He seems energized almost.
And all the guys do. And that's the thing that I think that's another big takeaway is this team just seems excited to be around each other. Like they genuinely like each other. People always ask with us, like, you guys are always doing the show and laughing and stuff. Do you guys actually like each other? It's like a big thing. Are you guys actually friends and this or that? And I think it's the same we feel about the Nuggets. You're like, do you guys all get along? Are you excited to be coming back to the team? And I think, they genuinely do. I think they seem like guys that are like, hey, man, it's good to see everybody. Now we're hanging out, and it's like those old times and focused. There's a maturity to them. But that would be another one of my just real big takeaways with the team. The other one is I just think it's a mature team. Like last year where you brought in more veterans probably than ever before. Same thing this year. But even the young guys, I asked Malone about it today, and I asked Nikola about it. Do the young guys seem maybe a little bit more mature? I think, was it Nikola or Malone that pushed back on the word mature? But he did seem to think that the floor is raised.
I think it was Nikola.
But the floor is raised for just, there's just no goofballs. I think that's it.
What did Nikola had a great quote on them today.
Yeah.
What did he say about the rookies?
I don't know. What was it?
He was like, it was right off the question you asked him about, do they seem more mature?
Yeah.
And he said something along the lines of like, yeah, they kind of know what they're doing a little bit.
Right.
Where in the past, if you think about some of the other rookies Nuggets might have brought in here recently that were younger, that weren't these 4th, 5th, 6th year seniors, they probably didn't really know what they were doing. But I think that's the biggest reason why this seems like a mature group. It's because the new players are mature.
Right. What about any other takeaways do you have? Any other major ones? We talked already about Justin Holiday. He's one. So let's go to another one.
I'll say somebody I have stock down for. That's Zeke Naji.
Now, is it stock down or incomplete?
It's down for me. We watched a little of the scrimmage today.
He missed one shot. I think he only had one shot. He
went
missed it. Wide open.
Went 2 or 4 from the line. We haven't heard a lot about him here at camp. His jumper seems like it's still kind of a work in progress.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know really what to expect from him this season.
I have heard that in shooting drills throughout the summer, he's shooting at about a 75% clip on threes. In shooting drills, like set shooting drills, you get 10 up or whatever. And I know that most people will look at and say, hey, whatever you're shooting in practice on those drills, cut that in half. That's what about it is. So if you shoot 80%, you're probably a 40% game shooter. So hearing that he's been, shooting well in practice and more, and he even talked about it, like I'm feeling more confidence in this or that, is an encouraging sign. But you're right that his name hasn't popped up a lot. That's more or less what you're getting at.
Yeah. So we penciled him in as the backup center.
Yeah.
I think he probably maybe still is, but I don't know. I want to hear something positive about Zeke.
Anything else? Any other takeaways?
Hunter Tyson. The Larry Bird of the Nuggets. Nuggets have 2 Larry Birds.
Yeah. All right, let's take another quick break. On the other side, we're going to get into our mailbag.
Guys, check out Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements use physician-formulated, natural science-backed ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your health. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code DNVR. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men with promo code DNVR. Also, make sure to check out Bet365, and they're never ordinary at Bet365. They don't do ordinary. We believe at Bet365 that every sport should be epic. See for yourself when you sign up today. You'll get $365 in bonus bets when you bet just $1. We also have awesome DNVR custom bets. You can go onto the Bet365 app. Sometimes, there's custom DNVR bets with our logo there. Bets that we might like that week, so you can take advantage of those. Keep an eye out for those each week on bet365.com. Ride with DNVR and place your bets using code DNVR365 at sign up. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
Go through the next ones too, just so we're going to have to do one segment here. It looks like a volleyball practice is behind it, getting ready to set up. What do you got?
Guys, make sure to check out BetterHelp. This episode of the DNVR Nuggets podcast brought to you by BetterHelp. Sometimes in life we're faced with tough choices and the path forward isn't always clear. But if you're dealing with decisions around your career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate life so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. If you want more information, if you want to get started, let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. You can go to betterhelp.com/DNVR. You answer a few questions about yourself and your goals. Boom, you'll get an email, match you with somebody that can talk you through your next step. You can connect with your therapist from there. So go to betterhelp.com/DNVR today to get 10% off your first month. Also, make sure to check out Backus and Schenker when you get hurt. Backus and Schenker is here to help. They win for Colorado families. They've been helping those seriously injured in Colorado for more than 25 years, and they're free until they win your case. No upfront fees. For speaking with them about your case, you only pay them if they win your case, and they've won over $1 billion for their clients. Backus and Schenker helps with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks. They can even help you if you're injured at work. Give them a call. 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free.
All right, let's do a speed run through some Nuggets mailbag stuff here, guys. Alec Gwynn asks, what is the vibe that you've gotten so far from the auxiliary personnel with the team, whether it's assistant coaches, front office trainers, everybody walking around like the championships that they are? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes. I actually think yes. I think that this is part of a thing that there is the culture that precedes the championship.
Yeah.
Even there's the Michael Malone era. There's like a seriousness to it.
Yeah.
But I would say that there is also, I think it's just a good vibe from the team coming off of that. Like, dynasty is a word that has been used.
Yeah,
this is sure. One title. The Nuggets have one title under their belt, but they're looking at it as, no, we feel like we are this, and that goes from the training staff to everybody else around.
Yeah,
yeah. All of those people seem to be there with it.
Yeah, the vibe I get is just that everybody's just really at peace with the team they have. Everybody's really relaxed, looking forward to this season. If you see this blackboard behind us right there, on it during practice today was Denver Nuggets 2024 NBA champions.
Yeah.
Not 2023, which is the one they won, but 2024. Maybe they're speaking it into existence. Maybe, that's just kind of the confidence that they have. But, it's just been a confident, poised, group that just feels ready for this season.
Yeah. Chances Hunter Tyson is a playoff 8 to 9 man guy.
Low.
I'd say pretty low. I'd say really low.
But definitely on the table. I would still have Hunter Tyson as my most likely rookie to play.
I think so too. I think I agree with that. And by the way, the buzz with him, the positive buzz has not been, it's really just been like a guy, he looks good. He's coming out here doing his job. Not a, oh my gosh, you got to see him this or that. So I think that you have to kind of separate. Justin Holiday, the buzz has been, a guy playing with the starters and this or that. The young guys, I think it's been more of a, they look like mature young guys who are going to fit into the culture well.
And even watching Hunter Tyson today at the scrimmage, I can tell why Mike Malone likes him so much. He's active.
Yeah.
You know, he's always doing something. He's always moving around. He plays hard.
Yeah.
Like he cuts with a purpose. Maybe the shot doesn't go in, but it's the right shot to take. It's a good shot. He plays the right way, man.
Meg asks, was there anything notable about the local reception of the Nuggets this week? I would say yes in a couple ways. Like there was not a lot of media out here, but some of the national media, I will say, one, I love Ohm. I'm a big Ohm Young League Soup guy, but he's enamored with the Nuggets. I will say there was a very healthy respect from media members about the Nuggets out here, I feel.
I would hope so.
I know it does sound silly, right? The reigning NBA champs. But I do think that amongst the media people, they're like, yeah, this team's awesome. The franchise, you know, like the organization and stuff does things well. They're impressive how they carry themselves. And that's different from years past.
Yeah.
I like this one from Justin Galt. Is it more likely 9 or 11 guys get rotation minutes on game 1 versus the Lakers? Not 10. 9 or 11.
For sure. 9 for sure.
You have a theory that this game is actually carrying a little bit of weight.
We need this game. I'm going to look the camera in the eye to all the Nuggets players watching this and the Nuggets organization. We need this game.
Yeah.
If we lose it, it's okay.
It is okay.
But if the Nuggets beat the Lakers on opening night, it's on, baby.
I think
it's on.
It's clear that that rivalry has been something that has been in their heads a little bit, you know, the trash talk, like they're taking note of it. And like you said, there's nothing you could lose. You're the reigning champs no matter what happens. But that game can be one that you send a message. And that message could really, the message really would be all the Lakers whining and conversations they had over the weekend. You know, the Nuggets are above that.
That game, I think, might be like the most intense game of the regular season.
Yeah.
I think it will be.
I'm excited for it. Kelly, you go ahead and hit that outro music. We got to get out of here because UC San Diego, we were told there was not a volleyball practice today, but it turns out there is one. So it's about to get really loud in here. But nonetheless, those are the big takeaways from a very eventful first week. We had some great written content up at the site. We're going to have even more over the, coming up early part of next week. So you're going to want to check that out. And then also the videos uploading to YouTube. Jokic's interview today I thought was a very interesting one. Michael Malone's been interesting all week long. I feel like he's been
long hair.
Long hair has been an A+ interview all week, so you're not going to want to miss those. Who else did we talk to? Oh, Christian Brown. He also talked today. So you're going to want to catch all of those. Everybody from San Diego, we're out. Thanks so much. Hit that like button on the way out.
We all silly like the mayor.